or something. I don't know. I'm making it all up. You will be too soon-ish. Welcome back to Learn Piano Live. And this is an adult's lesson. It's very much an adult's lesson. So this lesson is probably not for... It assumes that you already know the notes of the piano and that you have done a little bit of reading before, perhaps. This is not a lesson about how to play Moonlight Sonata in any of the jazzy ways that I did. It's about how to understand Moonlight Sonata so you can make up your own version of this stuff. So here we go. This might go kind of fast. Let me know how this goes. If you're in the archives, of course, send me your questions. We're going to start off with just the basic fact that this song and all songs that you're going to play are going to have chords in them. That's a lie, but it's almost entirely true. So the lie is that there's like this music that's called like atonal music or 12-tone music, and it doesn't have chords in it. It sounds super weird and horrible to most people. So if you're playing a song that you like, I'm going to bet any amount of money, 99.999% of the time, it's got chords in it. And there's this like misconception that like classical music has notes and jazz has chords. And that's just not at all true. Both have both in the same way that like you wouldn't say like, well, English has stories and like Latin has poetry or something like that. Like, no. Like this is all the same thing. It's just that the way we usually learn classical music, the way most people learn classical music is to play the individual notes, and they don't pay any attention to like, what are the notes that we're playing? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to ask, what are the notes that we're playing? So actually on the next page here of the PDF, in case you don't know your notes really well, I went ahead and wrote those in for you. So if you go to the first page, it's a great exercise in like reading what the notes are. And if you're like, I've never done that before, then the second page is there for you. We're going to take a look at these three notes right here: G sharp, C sharp, and E. These three notes are played individually here, but they make up a chord. That chord is called a C sharp minor. It's that thing right there. So if you've already done your major and minor chords, you're well set for this lesson. If you haven't done major and minor chords before, and that doesn't make any sense, this is going to be a rough lesson, but we'll pick up something along the way perhaps, or maybe just go pick another lesson that makes more sense, or go work on your major and minor chords. But anyway, so this one is called C sharp minor, and a little indication of what the chord is down here. That is C sharp. So usually what's in the left hand, in the lowest note, like the lowest note that you would play of that section, is the root of the chord. So there's probably a C sharp something. And it is a C sharp minor both because the way it's built as a minor chord, root plus 3 plus 4. Went through that too quickly for anyone who hasn't heard it before, but if you have heard it before, you're like, oh, that thing, yeah, I remember that. So it's a C sharp because it starts on C sharp, and it's a minor because it follows the pattern. Also, it just sounds minor, like has that dark, scary, ominous sound to it. All right, so C sharp minor is the first one. So when I'm playing this song, whether I'm playing it as a jazz or a gospel or a Latin or a classical, whatever version I'm playing, I'm thinking in my head, this is C sharp minor. And that way I don't have to remember C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, E, G sharp, C sharp, E, G sharp, C. I don't have to remember each of the notes. I just remember, oh yeah, that's that C sharp chord. And then I can play it anywhere I want to, because those three notes are the biggest part of what's going on. It's all that's going on right now. So anyway, we've got C sharp minor as our first chord. This is what we're doing today. So we're going to go through these and find out what all the chords are and then look at different ways to play them. So it starts off with C sharp. Now, as you can tell here, perhaps you can tell here, all these notes stay the same. G sharp, C sharp, E, but this time we have a B in the bass. So what I'm going to say is, we're still playing a C sharp minor here. But on the bottom, we'll make this like a fraction. On the bottom of it, we're going to put a B, because usually, as we already discussed, when you're playing a C sharp minor up here, you're going to play a C sharp or 2 or 3 down here as well. So then C sharp usually goes down here. In this case, it's still C sharp minor, but you got a B down there, which is what makes this thing sound so crazy and what's the word? Tense? Yeah. So you could play this version the way that it was originally intended to be played. Or you could play the C sharp minor chord notes in any order that you want. Over C sharp, and then over B. And it still kind of sounds like Moonlight Sonata-ish because we're still playing the same exact chords. So C sharp minor, and then C sharp minor over B, and then the next one, this one here, and we've got an A down here. We're hoping there's an A something. The notes are A, C sharp, and E, and indeed, that's just a regular A major chord. So then to go back just a little bit, in case you're totally lost at this point, basically what I'm doing is I'm clumping these notes together and just thinking of them as a clump. Clumping those ones together, clumping those ones together, and then I'm telling you what the names of those clumps are. Those are chords, and the name of this chord is an A. So it's A, C sharp, and E in any order. A, C sharp, and E. A, C sharp, and E. A, C sharp, and E. These are all different ways to play the A chord. A, C sharp, and E together with an A or 2 or 3 in your left hand. So what we have so far is C sharp minor over B, and then an A. And then this one's gonna get a little bit tricky here, just in the way that it looks, because down here, we've got an F sharp down here, so we're like, yay, it's an F sharp something. It's not, unfortunately. It's a D, and F sharp, and A, and anytime you have D and F sharp and A together in any order, any combination, that's a D chord. So the name of that clump there, A and D and F sharp, is actually D, but because we have this F sharp way down low, we're also gonna make this one into a fraction. We're gonna say D over F sharp. And F sharp is actually in the D chord. So it's like we're playing one of the notes of the chord. We're just not playing the root of the chord in the left hand. So you got a D over F sharp. What we have so far, we're actually almost there. There's only 3 lines of the whole thing. We're almost done with the first line. We got C sharp minor. We got C sharp minor over B. We have an A chord. We've got a D chord over F sharp. And then right here, well, this one gets wild here. So this one is G sharp, B sharp, F sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that this one is just a G sharp, what we're gonna call 7 chord. So I'm gonna say G sharp 7, which is I almost never get to write G sharp 7 because it's a really, really rare chord. But anyway, that one right there, they don't actually have this note in there. They just imply it. That one right there. So anyway, this is a G sharp 7, and you can either insert this note or not. You can do that with all of your chords, actually. Back up to the C sharp minor. You don't even have to play this middle note if you don't want to. So you can just play. I'm not even playing the middle note, and it still kind of sounds like a cross between Moonlight Sonata and Halloween, which actually, that would be interesting. This is the cool part about like playing classical music and like knowing what the chords are, is you can like make up your own version. I didn't even think about that one before, but that's fun. Anyway, I want to mess with that. But let's do the rest of the chords first. So this one right here is going to be a G sharp 7. This one right here is going to be a C sharp minor. Back to the C sharp minor. We've already played that one before, so you may recognize these notes: G sharp, C sharp, and E. That's how we started the whole song. Yeah, okay, cool. But it is over still G sharp. All right, we're well into the second line now, and this is the hardest measure out of all of them, I think. This next one is gonna be, this one's a G sharp suspended, is what we're gonna call. I'm gonna put S-U-S, which does not stand for the word sustained. Even though everybody thinks SUS stands for sustained, it's suspended, whatever. It means that you're creating suspense there. So normally, like you already know, this chord right here is the G sharp 7 thing. But if you take this note up right there, then it creates suspense. So when we finally go to that G sharp, like the real G sharp, then it's like, finally. So anyway, suspended creates suspense. That's the point of this chord right here. Those 2 notes together sound horrible. Everyone's waiting for you to make that horrible sound. Not horrible. Cool. Suspended. And then this one is back to the G sharp 7. So, like I said, this is the hardest measure out of all of them. If you can get the G sharp 7, C sharp minor over G sharp, G sharp suspended, G sharp 7. You got the whole thing. And then we're back to C sharp minor right here, because these notes right here, E, G sharp, and C sharp, are all the notes we started with. Okay, so what we have so far, if I just play the straight up chords, I'm not trying to like make a cool version of it or anything. I'm just playing the regular chords. We got C sharp minor, C sharp minor over B, A, D over F sharp, G sharp 7, C sharp minor over G sharp, G sharp suspended, G sharp 7, C minor, C sharp minor. Okay, cool. That's gonna take some practice if you've not played these chords before, and these are weird chords too. Like you don't usually have like this many sharps in the song. So anyway, some weird chords there, some stuff to practice. I'm gonna go ahead and move on, mostly because the rest of this is actually very similar stuff we've already seen. So this one right here, this is a G sharp 7. You've already played that one. Yay, we know that one. But in the bass, they don't play a G sharp. They're playing a what they're calling a B sharp. Should we get into it? Let's get into it. I'll make it quick. I'm gonna put B sharp here. So you're allowed to totally ignore everything that I'm about to say and just go, what are you talking about B sharp? You're playing a C. It's supposed to be a C. It's supposed to be a C. You're right. I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. This is why. So this is a B right here. Sharp means go slightly higher than. So like, forget the example. We had a G here. Let me zoom in. Here we go. So this is a G right here, and if we go slightly higher than a G, just slightly, not all the way up to A, but just slightly higher, we land on a G sharp. So sharp means go slightly higher than. So if we go to a D, and we go slightly higher than D, we land on this note right here. Well, if we go to a B, and we go to a B sharp, there's no note there. So we end up on this note right here. B sharp is this note, and you said it was a C, and you were right. This is a B sharp. They're gonna call it a B sharp here because it's a G sharp chord. It's a G of some kind. Do we care about this? We might not care about this. All right, cool. So the next, give me 22 seconds. Next 22 seconds, you can also ignore. Unless that last part was fascinating to you, then this will be maybe even more fascinating. Okay, real quick here. So a G sharp chord has to have a G of some kind, a B of some kind, and a D of some kind. So it's got to be every other letter. So it's going to be if these are the notes, and we got to call this a G of some kind, we'd be like, well, that's a G sharp, and this has got to be a B of some kind. So it's got to be a B sharp, and this one's got to be a D sharp, because every G chord has G, B, and D in it. So if it's going to be a G sharp chord, then you got to go G something, B something, D something. G something, B something, D something. G something, B something, D something. These are all different types of G chords. All right, so like we were saying, that's a C. So you can ignore what I said there and just play a C there, which is B sharp. G7 over B sharp. We've got one line left, and then you are making up your own versions after you practice the chords. It's going to take some practice. Then we're back to this thing right here, which is a C sharp minor. You already know that one. Hooray. We like it when it repeats. This one's going to be an F sharp minor. I don't think we've had this one yet. I could tell you what the notes are, or you could just read them right here, because this is the cluster. So you tell me, what are the notes for an F sharp minor chord? Now that I told you that's an F sharp minor. It's an A and a C sharp and an F sharp. Yeah, cool. I'll zoom back out here. There we go. So F sharp, A, and C sharp in any order is an F sharp minor chord. And then we've got 2 chords left. Yeah. Well, kind of 1.5. Because this one right here, E, G sharp, and B, that cluster right there is called an E chord. But you'll notice down here we've got a B. And so we've got a B down there. By the way, if you already know your chords and you feel like you could do this on your own, you should do this on your own. If you want the rest of Moonlight Sonata and you don't have a copy of it, I will send you the rest of it, and you can do, we call this a harmonic analysis. That means you take a look and you analyze the harmonies to find out what the chords are. And it's a really great exercise and helps you memorize songs, I think, way, way faster than just trying to memorize all the notes in order, because this is a ton of notes, but it's not that many chords, actually. So if you memorize the chords, it'll probably make that playing that a lot easier. for me. So this is an E over B. This one right here is just a B7. And the note cluster, do they have all of them in there? B, D sharp. They don't have, oh, they do have an F sharp. Good. And an A. Yeah. So it's those notes right there. They're all clustered right in there. Cool. So that's called a B7. Those notes right there. And then the last one is just a regular E, not over B. So it's the same thing you played just right over there, except you get to play E in the bass. Okay, so again, not trying to be fancy here, just playing the chords in order. C sharp minor. C sharp minor over B. A. D over F sharp. G sharp 7. C sharp minor over G. G sharp suspended. G sharp 7. C sharp minor. G sharp 7 over B sharp or C. Back to C sharp minor, we're on the third line. F sharp minor. And then E over B. And then B7. And then E. And this is how I made up all of the other versions that I did and all of the millions and trillions of other ones that I didn't make up. I'm just thinking in my head, C sharp minor. And so then if I want to actually play like the right way, then I could play the C sharp minor in the order that it was originally written. Or I could play it in a different order. Or with a different beat. Like, what was that? I did a Latin thing. Something like that. Anyway, so I'm just thinking this whole time, playing notes from that chord. C sharp minor over B, A, D over F sharp, G sharp. And so, if that all made sense to you, what I'd recommend is go back to my original thing and just rewind, and then see if you can see all of these chords in the thing that I'm playing. I'm gonna try it one more time, but I'm gonna call out what I'm doing. So this first thing starts out as C sharp minor. I'm playing it the right way this time. C sharp minor over B. A. D over F sharp. G sharp 7. C sharp minor over G. G sharp suspended, G sharp 7, C sharp minor. With a little melody in here. G sharp 7 over B sharp, or C. C sharp minor. F sharp minor. E over B. B7 over, just B7. E. And so then I redo it and I think C sharp minor, C sharp minor over B, A, D over F sharp, G sharp 7, C minor, G sharp suspended, G sharp 7, C sharp minor. 7 over B sharp. C sharp minor, F sharp minor, E for B, B7. C sharp minor. C sharp minor over B. F sharp, G sharp 7, C sharp minor, G suspended, G sharp 7, C sharp minor, G sharp 7 over B sharp, C sharp minor, F sharp, E over B, B7. Right. Okay, so that's basically what I'm doing in my head as I'm going through pretty much any song is I'm looking for these patterns. What are the chords so that I can memorize the chords and hopefully memorize the song more easily and not get lost as much. Because if I know, like, I feel like personally, if I'm memorizing the notes and I forget what one of the notes is, then all of the notes that come after that are likely lost. But if I know, oh, we're coming up in the section that goes back to C sharp minor, then I can jump back in more easily with what the chords are. So anyway, and also this works in reverse. I should have said that because this is all assuming that you want to take terrible classical music and turn it into awesome jazz music. And some people want to take terrible jazz music that has all the wrong notes and turn it into classical music. And so then you can take this same idea. Okay, well, this thing right here, Moonlight Sonata had that thing where they like took that minor chord and like split it up into those notes, those individual notes. So then I could take like some jazz song, like a lot of you know Autumn Leaves. So if we do that one, but we do it like with the Moonlight Sonata thing, so anyway, take all of the ideas, swap them in for all of the other songs that you do. And as you're going through your classical music, know that there are chords in there. So we've got this same series on, I think we've done Fur Elise and Rondo alla Turca and several others. But the idea is the same for all of them. Just like do a little harmonic analysis, group your notes together and go, all right, what chord is this made of? And if you don't know, because you don't know your chords, one, you can go work on your chords, or two, you just let me know. Just send me an email. Say, hey, I was working on this song. Maybe send me a picture of it. And, I don't know what chord this is supposed to be, and I can help you work those out. But that's the idea. Hopefully there's something in there you can take away and apply to your other stuff, or go find another lesson that makes more sense to you. Let me know how I can help. Until next time, go explore, mess up, have fun, rock on, friends.